The former city manager of Marque has been returned to Galveston County after he was arrested in the DFW Metroplex. The Galveston County Sheriff's Office says Joshua Pritchett was taken into custody Saturday afternoon yesterday during a traffic stop near Royce City after they had reports he was hiding out there. Pritchett resigned from his post in Marque earlier this month. He is charged with arson and tampering with evidence, among other things. Bond is set at $90,000.
Well, good evening. A summer pool party turned into tragedy. A teenage boy was killed and 2 other teens are now in the hospital after an overnight shooting in an apartment complex in Northeast Harris County.
Fox 26's Jillian Hartman live at the scene. She spoke with a woman who helped several kids get to safety. Jillian.
Yeah, a woman tells me she was working out in the gym right next to the pool when the shooting happened, and she says a bullet went through the gym windows and shattered the glass, and from where I'm standing, you can see one of those windows boarded up. She describes kids screaming and running inside. She told them to get down, and she turned off the lights. She is still very shaken up, just like many others who live in this complex. This surveillance video captures the terrifying moments at a summer pool party. A mother tells me she was inside her bedroom when she heard 20 gunshots just before midnight and then saw chaos outside.
We're looking out the window and we see kids jumping the fence from the pool. They're running everywhere, jumping. And then we hear them screaming. I heard someone say, "Oh my God, he's not moving." I see someone laid out on the ground. I see someone else crying. It's chaos everywhere. Then after that, we see a young lady. She said she was in the gym working out and a bullet shot through the glass and it went right past her face, and it was so close that she could feel the heat from the bullet. So it was mayhem everywhere last night.
The Harris County Sheriff's Office says about 30 teenagers were at the pool party at the Henry at Liberty Hills apartments. A boy believed to be 17 was shot and killed. A 15-year-old boy and girl were hurt and taken to the hospital. Some tenants say the pool is supposed to be closed at 10 p.m., but say after-hours parties have been a constant problem this summer.
It has been a trend this summer to where people who do not live here, they are not residents, they come here and throw pool parties. And it's been the entire summer. I'm always calling the police, always, because it gets out of hand.
All summer long, every weekend from Friday through Sunday, they last all like 3 o'clock in the morning. There's been police that would come break it up, and a lot of the times they don't show up here. A lot of the residents have said they complain. I've complained to the front office that like after 10 o'clock, like they're blasting music. It's time to go home.
Some tenants now say they don't feel safe and want stronger security measures.
I think they need to be better at managing access to the pool. There's a lot that can be done.
The city of Houston's cracking down on nightclubs and bars not following the rules.
The crime protection team club unit stayed out late in the Heights area and along Washington Avenue this weekend to let places know that they mean business. Fox 26's Leslie Delaspore is breaking down how the team's doing.
A few Heights area clubs and bars got a visit from Mayor Whitmire and the club unit over the weekend, and they were given more than just a fair warning. Take a look. 13 inspections were handed out, 115 citations, along with 12 warnings. 2 misdemeanor arrests were made, and 5 bars and clubs were closed, something that Councilmember Abby Kamen says is because of bad actors.
We're not anti-business in Houston. Business is the backbone of our city, but there are a few of these bad actors that are making a big problem for a lot of people and putting a strain on specifically law enforcement resources. And every time there's an inspection, they're looking for, our health department is involved. The fire marshals are involved, other parties, to make sure that where people are visiting is safe.
Now, Mayor Whitmire published a detailed breakdown from the 13 inspections over the weekend, but we've highlighted 2. Take a look. This is at Zen Lounge on Washington Avenue. There were arrests made for health and sanitary violations. 15 citations were handed out. Now, the doors were also closed for unauthorized food service and invalid occupancy certificate. Now, over at XO on Washington, they were closed for invalid occupancy certificate, and they were also closed for unauthorized food service. HFD gave them 1 citation, while HPD gave them 29 citations.
When we're talking about a bar that has been shut down or a club that has been shut down, there have been clear issues with safety and health that have been found. There are some clubs and bars that do not have valid certificates of occupancy. They may not be keeping up with safety measures like sprinkler systems. They may be, when you hear about issues, which we deal a lot with in District C, loud noise.
Now, the club unit not only cracked down on bars and clubs, but DWI enforcement was in full effect. Take a look. There were 104 traffic stops, 91 citations, 43 warnings, and 8 DWI arrests. Now, this is something that the owner of Prison Break Tattoo says she's happy about because her business relies on foot traffic.
I mean, there is quite a bit of activity, especially after the midnight hours. You know, people tend to get a little crazy. Some of the frustrations is the when they see these businesses and they park along the whole street, so people can't get in our place of business, and you know, we can't conduct business.
Now, for a full breakdown on the club unit's results from over the weekend, you can head to our website at fox26houston.com. Reporting in the newsroom, Leslie Delaspore, Fox 26 News.
Welcome back to the news here at 6. Well, recently, Houston nightlife has received a lot of attention, both good and bad. But here at Fox 26, we've reported on how city officials are working to try to crack down on the crime and also the bad actors at some very popular bars and clubs to, you know, keep patrons and everyone safe there, and also the neighbors who live in the area.
Rob Wright, owner of Rock House Southern Kitchen here on Richmond, says his doors are typically closed around 2 a.m. and his staff does last call around 1:15. So this weekend's incident that happened in the parking lot was not only uncommon, but it did not involve his customers.
It looked like it was a skirmish between maybe 5 or 6 guests from another concept, clearly, and then all of a sudden this car just zooms out of nowhere and just starts, you know, playing pinball machine with customers. Looking at the cameras, the actual incident took place around 2:45 a.m. Because we're a large parking lot on the Richmond Strip, obviously, there are other neighboring bars and stuff where some of their patrons decide they want to park in our parking lot.
Wright says it's tough to police everyone in the parking lot. He's even had issues with these gates staying closed because people will come in, cut these chains to get into his lot. He says he's disturbed by what happened, but there will be changes moving forward.
We have a valet company who typically manages that. Basically, now that I guess they're on notice, now they're going to have to do a little bit more better job of policing themselves. So we're finding out some of the people who are occupying our lot are actually from other bars, which sometimes inhibits or prohibits some of our customers from maybe able to park late at night.
But we also need policy within the city of Houston that allows HPD to go on private property and be able to make cars and individuals leave.
Being in the hospitality game for about 2 decades, Wright says it's not only about managing the establishment, but the people. Now, council member Edward Pollard, who represents District J, says his office is doing the same, working to ensure people who come to this area enjoy themselves safely.
We've added flock cameras, which are license plate reader cameras, mobile security cameras. We also have worked with the different establishments on educating them on best practices when locking up their properties after hours so that people cannot congregate there. We have mobile speed trailers that are there. We've done work with HPD getting routine club checks. People have to take personal responsibility for their actions. We have individuals that are out speeding and drinking and staying out.
You have to get your manager involved, and you don't embarrass the customer. You have to isolate the customer and let them know, hey, privately, hey, you know, we think we've had too much. We're not going to embarrass you. We'll call you an Uber, we'll call you a taxi.
Like, we can put all the cameras up, we can put the speed traps, we can do the club checks, but people are going to have to find ways to be more responsible. And then the city has to put forth policy that when they don't, we can crack down.
Wright says moving forward, he will continue the conversation with his neighbors to ensure businesses and customers are safe. Reporting in Southwest Houston, Leslie Delaspore, Fox 26 News.
Top story here tonight. 3 men who were in the country illegally are now behind bars, all charged with online solicitation of a minor. And parents, listen here closely. We're told they were all using the same dating app you may not have even heard of. Here's Fox 26's Abigail Dow with the story.
Carlos Gomez, Abner Ruiz, and Eric Menivar all have a few things in common. They're all from El Salvador. They all entered the U.S. illegally, and they're all accused of trying to meet and have sex with minors.
The defendant was allegedly there to engage in sexual contact with a minor.
A 14-year-old female was who the defendant believed he was messaging.
With the intent that the complaining witness would engage in sexual conduct with you.
I got the background on these guys from the ICE Houston field office. They tell me that Ruiz entered the U.S. illegally on an unknown date. They say Menivar entered the U.S. illegally in 2018, was captured and then released. And they say that Gomez entered the U.S. illegally back in 2012, was removed and then re-entered to commit this offense. Now, Houston police say that all three of these guys were busted under the same sting operation. And records say that an undercover officer would pose as a teen and communicate with them online. Now, those records say that Gomez pulled up to the scene, saw that the teen he thought he was talking to was a cop, and took off.
When the police were moving in, he saw one, and that's when he's alleged to have driven off at a high rate of speed, running stop signs, driving recklessly before striking the closed gate, which then hit the pedestrian.
Who now has multiple injuries, bodily injuries, all because Carlos Gomez wanted to have sex with an underage child. All three used the same chat form, which apparently is a dating website called Jamo. And all three of them were chatting with someone that they believed was either 14, 16, and another 14-year-old as well.
I downloaded the Jamo app to see what it's about, and it's just like any other dating app where you can scroll through different profiles. The big difference, this app allows you to message users without matching or their consent. Now, it says on the Jamo website that they have a zero-tolerance policy for any behavior that victimizes children.
This right here is the weapon of choice for child predators. And the quicker you grasp that concept, the better off you're going to be, and your child will not be a victim of cases like this.
All three of these defendants are being held in the Harris County Jail on the ICE detainers, and Houston police say that the sting operation is ongoing. To see this full story, click on it on fox26houston.com or on your Fox local app. For Fox 26 News, I'm Abigail Dow.
Well, Senators John Cornyn and also Andy Kim of New Jersey Tuesday introduced the Proactive AI Data Act to fight against AI-generated child sex abuse materials. And Fox 26's Leslie Delaswar spoke with a tech expert about how these images are created and how Crime Stoppers Houston is working to fight these.
Jennifer Newman, an executive director with the National Center of Missing and Exploited Children, said there is a rise in AI-generated child sexual abuse material. One tech expert explains how these images are created and what companies are doing about it.
Platforms such as AI video generating content or video generating platforms based on AI are now using a lot of safeguards to be able to block any kind of content that it's explicit in any way. But the reality of the matter is AI is trained first. So what AI is doing is using content that has been done before and regenerates that content and creates some sort of content based off content that has been done before. So this is very important because AI is not a creative tool. AI only can generate things based off what AI has seen in the past. Now, the second question is, how is this AI content being trained on AI? And that is where this is important, because if AI is not trained to generate this type of images and content, then the loophole or the content is secure. AI companies will need to go back to the drawing board, verify where these training is taking place, and make sure that that training doesn't occur, so AI doesn't have access to these images.
Crime Stoppers Houston CEO told us she recognizes with deep concern the rise in AI-generated child sex abuse material, telling us in part, quote, since local authorities made one of the region's first arrests involving AI-generated CSAM in mid-2024, similar cases, such as an FBI analyst in Cyprus, found with over 1,000 real and AI-generated CSAM images underscore how rapidly this threat is growing locally. Crime Stoppers of Houston has been working diligently to research and utilize our expertise to create preventative education so we can continue to protect and safeguard our children, end quote. Reporting in Houston, Leslie Delaspore, Fox 26 News.
In other news tonight, a developing story here where arson investigators say a 45-year-old man is responsible for setting at least 2 fires in and around Memorial Park. And that's where we find Fox 26's Randy Wallace live for us here tonight. Randy.
Yeah, Anthony. Now, Dustin Sheelan is now charged with arson, a second-degree felony. Arson investigators want to know if others have been setting fires here at Memorial Park as well. Dustin Slane is accused of setting 2 fires in and around Memorial Park, but the Houston Fire Department's Arson Bureau says there's been more blazes over the past 10 months. They say more than a dozen fires have been started in the park. While the fires have typically been small and away from any structures, investigators say they pose a significant threat to both the park and the people who enjoy it. Mayor John Whitmire thanked the HFD Arson Bureau for what he calls their swift response in identifying someone who caused harm to one of our city parks. Arson investigators are continuing to seek information on any other persons responsible for multiple fires at Memorial Park. Now, Slane is free on bond. His next scheduled court appearance Friday morning. It is illegal in Houston to set a fire without a permit. The punishment ranges from a $10,000 fine to 99 years in prison. Reporting live from Memorial Park, Randy Wallace, Fox 26 News.
A victim. That is what a community advocate says the star high school football player at the center of a felony case is. We're talking about Chase Calicut. He's a senior at North Shore High School, and he's a top recruit at the University of Georgia to play football. Fox 26's Jillian Hartman was at a news conference today with his family and community advocates.
Well, star football player and Georgia commit Chase Calicut is heading into his senior year here at North Shore, and right now he is facing serious charges. For the first time, we are hearing his side of the story since his arrest and have learned what this could mean for his future, both on and off the field. North Shore High School football player Chase Calicut, his family, and community activists held a press conference outside his home Friday, speaking out for the first time about the felony charges against the 17-year-old following a violent driving incident earlier this month.
I'd like to thank the entire community, friends and family who've been supporting us, sending out prayers and well wishes. And I want to say we will get through this.
On July 6 along Kirkendall Road, Harris County deputies say Calicut was driving erratically near a car with 2 classmates inside. 17-year-old Isaiah Phillip was in the car with Calicut and allegedly pointed a gun at the classmates and fired shots. Afterwards, police say Calicut called the mom of one of the classmates, admitting he knew Phillip had a gun and was going to shoot, and begged her to not report him. Police say Calicut had been threatening one of the classmates at school for months. The family representative claims he is innocent.
He did not commit a crime. He was a victim that night. We have proof.
Calicut was charged with 2 counts of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. He turned himself in earlier this week and bailed out of jail Thursday after a judge raised his bond. Calicut recently committed to playing football for the University of Georgia.
Georgia got a damn good ball player, and they got a very good kid of good character. Once the truth comes out, and it will come out, we believe he will be vindicated.
On July 20th, authorities say Isaiah Phillip was murdered during a shooting at a summer pool party at a local apartment complex. At this time, we have not been told there's a connection to the July 6th and July 20th shooting.
It's unfortunate what has happened to Isaiah. It's tragic what has happened to Isaiah. Our prayers are with Isaiah's family, and it's unfortunate. It really, really is. It broke my heart when I heard. Isaiah was a kid who had also great potential too. But it's unfortunate what's happening out here in these streets, man. And it's bad.
Now, Chase Calicut's next court appearance is scheduled for August 6th. I'm Jillian Hartman, Fox 26 News.